I love the term God woman and God man and God human because for me they really speak to being an incarnated expression of the divine and an integral thread, in the sacred tapestry. And that this divine essence lives in all of us and in the world around us. For today's mother tongue sharing, I'd like to read an exquisite poem with you. And it was shared with me by an earth god woman who I'm privileged enough to call a friend and have known for over 20 years, and whose existence never ceases to inspire me. So thank you, Alia, and happy birthday. But first, before the poem, I do want to just put something out there. Nothing I share is meant to be taken literally, nor entangled with the mind. It really is the language of soul, of magic, of myth, of ancient wisdom. It's archetypical and it's mythopoetic. All cultures have stories that set out to teach us and help us remember our collective wisdom and our humanity and our divinity. And for me, most of the time, these stories, they share a golden thread that shimmers and connects all these varied lenses and analogies. And what I share is not underpinned by how it is languaged. And it's also not underpinned by the actual existence of the characters in any of these stories or myths. Sure, they might have actually existed and they might still exist. But for me, that's not the point. Personally, it's about the symbolism and the story and what these characters represent archetypically. How they speak to my lived experience and to my religion of my soul. How they point to the need for balance and how this balance has the potential to transform wisdom into life. It's not one or the other, it's always both and. It's not choosing the feminine over the masculine. It's the integration of seemingly apparent opposites. It's the hierosgamos. It's the sacred marriage. The marriage of the sacred masculine and the feminine and the divine child as energies alive in everything and everyone. How each story becomes a portal and a mirror, offering like a unique perspective on how these archetypical energies weave through the fabric of existence and our personal and lived myths. The potential they also have to wake us up to the current imbalance, causing this collective trauma, fear, the suffering, and this misuse of power, this fracturing, this distortion of dominance and the suppression. So the poem for me speaks to how the feminine or how feminine consciousness can help us remember and experience the sacredness and the interconnectedness of all life and all lives. Our true nature of oneness in our radiant and radical diversity, and as a manifestation of the divine in matter. To see that there is another path and choice and way of being and relating and interpreting these stories that is available to us, that makes way, for a multitude of life-giving and loving paths, that allows for brave acts of kindness and just brave acts, and for facing our shadows. for a new resonance and a new coherence. Well, I guess it's not a new, it's just another way of relating and being with ourselves, each other, and life. You know, where we are fiercely loving and compassionate and humble and sovereign and willing to stand up for our own heart-centered attitudes, but also for the earth and for each other. The last thing I want to share with you just before we get to the poem is something I saw a few days ago on Clarissa Pinkola Estes' Facebook page. And it's just a little part from a huge, beautiful post if you guys are interested in seeing it. But for me, this part of what she shared is a beautiful reminder. She said, for many of us, the current time of rising up is not new. It's what our own ancestors faced and sacrificed for, in order, I think, that someday we would be born. That there would be a new day where we would continue to put forth that the ancient was respected and the new was appreciated. So it was very noisy with helicopters and earth-moving equipment, you know, as is life. So I moved to a quieter place and then realized that my feet were really hurting. So I've just looked at my shoes. Okay, those are the thorns that I've been walking on, and I can feel through my shoes. So well done to these little slip-slops for saving my feet from all that. Anyway, back to the poem. It's called She Returns, and it's by Cara Anya. They have waited for a king. They have searched the skies for a conqueror. They have expected the return of one who will rule. Sorry, doggy. But they did not understand. The one who comes is not a king. She is the mother. She is the one who was hidden and buried beneath the weight of time, erased from the stories and whispered of only in the spaces between worlds. She was never gone. She was never lost. She was waiting. Tiamat, who was cast down but never destroyed. Shekinah, the divine presence, who was exiled but never silent. Sophia, the lost wisdom who has whispered through every age. Asherah, the tree of life, severed but still rooted. The woman clothed in the sun who births the new age. They have told you the Messiah would come as a man. But what if she was always the one returning? This is not the fall of the masculine. This is the return of balance. She does not come with a sword. She comes with the power to dissolve illusion. She does not demand worship. She ignites remembrance. She does not bring war. She brings the unraveling of false power. She is the weaver. She is the pattern. She is the return of what was truly never lost. And now she walks, not alone, but through those who recognize her presence. The world is shifting. The veil is torn. And the ones who have carried the weight, the ones who have served in silence, they now rise because she rises in them. It is time.